Hi my friends, today we are going to learn list in Python. First of all, let's start by defining what a list is. List is used to store the data items where each data item is separated by a comma. A Python list can have data items of any data type. It can be an integer type or a boolean type or a string and etc. And the list stores data in an ordered way. List is great to use when you want to work with many related values. So how can we create a list? So I declare a variable called colors. I will make it bigger, and I open and close square brackets. These square brackets makes the variable list. If these brackets don't have any data in it, just open and close these brackets is enough to create a list. So let's write something in it. I will write some colors. Important point here is that every color I separate with a comma becomes an item of the list. So to make a more general definition, the items of this list are those separated by commas. So we created a list which has 5 items in it. So let's first look at the type of this variable using the type function we learned in the previous lesson. So let's write parent type and the colors. I will run it. Look at the terminal. It is a list. Now let's print the variable and see how it looks like. Look, it doesn't seem different than we wrote here. So we have the same output. In fact, in the previous videos, we learned strings and how to slice them. By doing that, we actually learned some things about list. Friends who have watched the previous video will remember that we had a len function which we use to find out the length of the string. We can also use the len function for list, but this time it gives the information of how many items our list consists of, not how many characters it has. So let's see that. I write len and the colors. I run it. It printed 5. So our list consists of 5 items. And now how can we access the items of the list? As we learned in strings, we can do that what we did with strings. I will delete them, I don't need them anymore. So I write colors and the square brackets. Inside the brackets, I write the index of the item I want to access. But first of all, I want to remind you something. You know, programming languages start counting from 0. They don't start from 1 like humans. So when we count, we do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But programming languages count like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For example, if we want to access yellow, how can we do that? Let's count the index. So 0, 1, 2. So if I write 2 here, I can access the yellow. If I paint it, look at the terminal. We were able to get the yellow. If I want to access the black here, all I need to do is just write the index of it. So the index of black is 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0 is the index of black. So if I run it, we get black in terminal. The following question is that if we try to access an index which does not exist, of course we are going to get an error, but I want to show you. So let's count the index again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want to access the 5th index, I write 5 here and run it again. We get an error. List index out of range. because we don't have such an index. So we continue. We used colon in square brackets in strings. We did something like that. So can we use it in a list? Of course we can. Let's see that. So if I write 2 and the colon here, that means start from this index and they go until to the end of the list, because we didn't specify any stop point here. So if we run it, look at the terminal. It started from a second index, so 0, 1, 2. It starts from here and they go to the end. But if I write something like that, let's say 4, and I run it again, this time it starts from second index and stop at the 4th index, but this index is not included. This is the stop point. You can check the terminal. The item green is not included in this list because this is the endpoint. The value we write here is included as the start point, but the value we write here is not included. It is really important. I want you to keep it in your mind. The other thing I want to show is if I write something like that, for example, colon and 4. If I run it, if I don't specify an index as the starting value, the starting index becomes 0 by default. So it starts from here. So if I change it, let's say 2, it starts from 0 and it stopped here. But the yellow is not included because this is a stop point and this index is not included. We can also determine the number of steps. You can do it like that. If I have one more colon here, and let's say if I write 2 and run it, the third parameter here determines the number of step. As default, it is 1. If I run it like that, it is the default value. But if we change it from 1 to 2, it starts from here as we expected, and it skipped 2 indexes, 1, 2, and then it printed it, it's here, and then it skipped 2 indexes, 1, 2, and it printed, it took it, and then it's printed. In addition, as I just said, we can determine the start and end points here. So we can write like 1 or 4. We can still determine start and end points. Now it's time to talk about list methods. There are some methods that allows us to perform operations on list, and they are really useful. You can be sure that there will be situations where you will use these methods a lot in your project. So let's start with the append method first. I will delete it. The append method is used to add an item to the end of the list. Its usage is as follows. We write the name of the variable, name of the list, and then we write append, and then inside the brackets we specify the item we want to add to the end of the list. If we write gray, and I'm going to print the list again, let's say colors. If I run it, I will also print the list just before the append method. So let's print it again. We added gray in the end of the list. So its usage is really simple. So you can use it like that. What if we want to add item in the different index instead of the end of the list? How can we do that? So we have another method for it. The name of this method is insert. Let's write it insert. I don't need it for now. I will do it like that. Okay. Actually, their usage is the same. We write the name of the list and then we write insert. Inside the brackets, we first write the index we want to add in. Then we specify what we want to add. So for example, let's add something at the beginning. So first I write the index that I want to add in, and then I write the item I want to add. So we are going to add gray again. We will add it in the first index. So if I run it, check the terminal. This time I was able to add in the first index. So I can also add it in other indexes. For example, let's add it to second index. So if I write 2 here, look, it's here. Actually, it will be better just writing 1 here. It is a second index. So we called edit. Following question is that can you add more than one item with append method? So we can try it. I will delete it. Actually, I don't want to use it for now, and I want to use the append method again. I am going to create another list. Let's say colors 2, and I will write some other colors, pink, and let's say what we don't have here, red. What happens if I try to add these items to my list using the append method? So let's try it. I'll just write colors, but the variable name will be colors2, colors2. Okay, if I run it, look at the terminal. We have added the colors to our list here, but we have added them in a list. We have another list here. So I created another list within the list. However, we expected to include these items, not to create a new list inside it. And that is the difference between append and the extend method. So I want to show it. Just write extend, and if I run it, look at terminal. Extend method joins two lists, and it doesn't create a list within a list, as you can see. And then now let's take a look at the remove method. I think it gives a hint from its name. I will delete them. I also delete this. Okay. And I write colors remove. Inside the brackets, we write the item that we want to remove. So let's say yellow. And if I run it, the remove method has removed it from the list. I think you ask that, can we remove items by their index? Of course we can. We can do that with pop method. This pop method also gives us the information about which item is deleted. Let's see what I mean. I write colors.pop. If I don't specify any index in these brackets, this method deletes the last item of the list by default. Let's run it. As you can see, it deleted the last item of the list, but if I specify an index inside the brackets, it will delete the item in that index. So let's say 0, and if I run it, check the terminal. It deleted the first item. We can also detect the deleted item. Let's see what I mean. If I print it, if I print this pop method, let's run it again. Now we can see what item has been deleted. and you may wonder that where we can use such a thing. You may want to keep the deleted items according to your needs in your future application. You may want to do other things related to the deleted item. By this method, it is pretty easy. You can assign it to a variable like that deleted item, and you can use this method like that, and if you delete the deleted item variable, we can access the deleted item information like that. You can use it in your project. Now let's learn the reverse method. We can understand what it does from its name. So let's see. I will delete them. We just write colors.reverse. If I run it, reverse method is a method that reverses our list. The first one is our original list, and the second one is the reversed list. I also want to talk about the sort method, which sorts our list. So let's see what I mean. Colors.sort. If I run it, so check the terminal. Our list has been sorted alphabetically. If our list had not consist of textual expressions, I mean if there would have been numbers in it, this time it would have been sorted from smallest to largest. I want to show it. It will be better actually. Let's write numbers, and let's say 0, 1, 5, 7, 9. So if I sort it and I want to print it, look at the terminal. This time it sorted from smallest to largest. We can also change the sort order. So if we give a parameter here, reverse true, it will sort our list from reverse. So if I run it, look at the terminal. This time it sorted from largest to smallest. However, there is something I want to highlight here. When we use sort method, we make changes on our original list. So our list here becomes the sorted list. I can show you like that. I'm going to delete them. I don't need them for now. I will just write colors.sort, and I will print it. I lost the order of in my original list, and maybe in the future application the list before being sorted was also important. We can use it for some cases, but after we use the sort method, so we can't access our original list because the sort method changed it, as you can see in the terminal. It is an important issue actually, and the Python developers have thought about that, and they also developed a sorted method. Let's see what this sorted method does. Just before that, I want to show you something to understand better. I will delete all of them, and I will just write a print function, and I will use some methods inside the print function. So if I write colors.reverse, and if I run it, it printed nothing. Okay, and if I use sort method here, as you can see, it printed nothing. And now I am going to use another method, which is sorted, and inside the brackets I write my list. If I run it, check the terminal. As you can see, this time we don't see none, we see a new list. But when we use the sort method, I want to show it one more time. When we use this method, we just got none here, but if we use that, I will delete it, but if we use it, we get a list. long story short, what it means is that this sorted method gives us a new list whose items are sorted, and that the sorted method doesn't make any changes on the original list. So if I need this original unsorted list in the future, I can still use my original list. We can assign the sorted list as to a variable, let's say sorted colors. We can give any name, you know that. We don't need parentheses here. From now on, we can use it without breaking the order of our original list. So if I print both of them, let's say print sorted colors, if I print the original list here, sorry, I will first print the original list, it may confuse us. Check the terminal. I still have the original list here, they are the same, but I also have the sorted list which comes from here, but we didn't make any changes on our original list. So if I need it in the future, I can still have the original list. I will end the video here, and I hope it was explanatory and useful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.